Hello everyone, back to tuning in to today's second video, doing European outlook for today's second video. So as was on a Thursday, we're having a look at the weather for next week, 10 to 10 days in detail for Europe, and I shall get to that for you in a moment. Just to say that first, the video we say was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. There's a 10 to 14 day with all operator features coming up for you later on this afternoon as well. Please like, share and subscribe on all today's videos and content. And thank you so much everybody for doing that for me and for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much. Okay, situation across Europe today. Basically, we're breaking down high pressure still. So the high pressure that has given us, or gave us, the very hot and dry heat wave for the first 10 days of September is breaking, but it's doing so in a slow fashion. So we've got quite a deep area of low pressure north of Scotland heading into Scandinavia. Otherwise, many parts of Europe are actually still dominated by high pressure, albeit weaker compared to the high pressure had a few days ago. Upper air temperatures are sort of going into a north-south split. So much of northern Europe actually looking quite cool here now. Down across southern Europe, though, it gets progressively hotter, still very warm through most of the Mediterranean. Precipitation-wise, we've got showery bursts in the UK and Ireland, some wet weather heading in towards some parts of Norway as well. Some heavy rain on the Europe and Russian border, down in towards Belarus and also Ukraine, and then westwards we find we've got some heavy showers and thunderstorms through eastern parts of France and Germany and around these Alpine regions, just extending down into towards the Balkans as well. A few scattered showers and thunderstorms through Spain and down in towards North Africa. That said, many places are dry today. And hot down across southern Europe, temperatures still widely into the mid-upper 20s, maybe low 30s Celsius. It is cooler further north. Scandinavia standing out as being really quite cool and autumnal now. And some of that cool air is getting into the northern half of the UK as well. Areas further south and east of that, though, still very warm generally, particularly the further south you have to go. Tomorrow, Friday, sees high pressure moving more towards those northeastern parts of Europe. Lower pressure is developing down towards Spain, Portugal and the Bay of Biscay. That started to try and push northwards up the western side of Europe. Upper air temperatures are still looking very warm or hot through Spain, Portugal and most parts of the Med. Very warm upper air temperatures extending into some parts of England and also into the Low Countries and on, on into Germany. Go north of that, it does get cooler though, around the Baltic Sea states of Latvia, Estonia and Lithuania, back in towards Scandinavia and into Ireland and Scotland. We have got a cooler upper air temperatures through there. Precipitation-wise, there's a band of rain here through Scotland and Ireland that stretches out into the Atlantic and actually ties in to Hurricane Margot just here. So that's the remains of Margot. That is Margot just there. I can actually go back and so it's that low just there. That is Hurricane Margot. And this weather front that we've got across Scotland and Ireland, that actually does trail all the way back to Margot. Anyway, apart from the tangent, if that's not really relevant for European weather, I've got more heavy showers and thunderstorms building up through Spain. They stretch out in towards the central part of the Med as well, affecting the Balearic Islands of Mallorca, Minorca and Ibiza. Some showers over the Alps and down into the Balkans again, one or two over towards the Black Sea as well. Again, though, the emphasis through many central and eastern parts of Europe and some western regions too is on dry weather tomorrow. Really cool for parts of Ireland and Scotland tomorrow. And in towards Norway and much of Sweden and Finland as well, properly autumnal there. But southern parts of England looking really very warm again. And most parts of France looking very warm, out to the Low Countries, Germany, and areas south and east of that through the Med into Eastern Europe looking very warm and or hot tomorrow. Saturday sees that thundery low developing around Portugal and starting to try and shift northwards into towards the Bay of Biscay. At the same time, still got some high pressure on the eastern side of Europe. That's what's left over of the Amiga block, of course. And we're still generally drawing up quite warm southerly winds across most parts of Europe. Those upper air temperatures continue to look very warm and or hot in many areas, just in the far northwest, Ireland, Scotland, and up to Norway and Sweden, Scandinavia, Sweden and Finland, I should say. That's where we have got those cooler upper air temperatures. Even into the Baltic Sea states, the upper air temperatures are relatively warm. We've got heavy showers and thunderstorms through Portugal, some of those affecting Spain as well, stretching up through the Bay of Biscay and into western parts of France. Looks like things are becoming increasingly volatile through there. Elsewhere, lots of dry weather, some showers through eastern parts of France, around the Alpine region, but the emphasis really for most other parts of Europe is on dry weather until we get up to Scandinavia, and then we've got a band of rain from Norway through Sweden and over towards Finland as well. Again, most upper air temperatures are looking cool in the extreme northwest Europe, Ireland, Scotland, and also much of Scandinavia looking cool. Come further southwards, it's a much warmer scene. Southern England marking the boundary between those cool temperatures and the hotter temperatures. So very warm across southern parts of England and down into France, Belgium, Holland, Netherlands, into Germany, just getting up into Denmark, just getting to Scandinavia with some of that warmth as well. And then the eastern and southern parts of Europe again looking generally very warm and or hot. That thundery low then moves up the western side of Europe towards UK and Ireland on Sunday. At the same time, high pressure trying to build through Scandinavia and northern parts of Europe. Those upper air temperatures look hot again across most parts of Europe. Actually a surge of heat, another surge of heat from North Africa through the central bowl of the Med, pushing northwards in towards France and southern parts of Germany. But if you go further north of that, it actually still looks like Scandinavia. The far northeast of Europe is sitting under that cooler air. So those heavy showers, thunderstorms, maybe longer spells of thundery rain drifting northwards through western France into Ireland and the UK on Sunday. Could be some very wet weather through here. At the same time, it is actually starting to turn a little bit drier down across Spain and Portugal, although still some showers in a few places. Heavy showers and longer spells of rain through Finland into northwestern Russia. Otherwise, most other parts of Europe are dry, sunny and hot. Look at the heat across France. Temperature back up to 30 degrees there. Once again, extending into towards the Low Countries and Germany and Poland and Ukraine with some of that warmth as well. And the Balkans, from Adriatic to Black Sea, Germany looking very warm or hot. Most parts of the Med looking hot too. Corsica, Sardinia looking very hot. Temperature possibly back up into mid to upper 30s Celsius through there. Well, the remains of Hurricane Lee then starts getting absorbed into this area of low pressure and really invigorates the jet stream on Monday. So all of a sudden, western northern Europe begins wet and windy. That area of low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic, forcing back what's left of the blocking high, forcing that back to the far east and northeast of Europe. The upper air temperature, the heat getting shunted further eastwards on Monday as cooler air from off the Atlantic starts sweeping in to the far west and northwest of Europe. Precipitation-wise, we've got showers and longer spells of rain, wet weather spreading eastwards through Ireland, the UK, and northern parts of France, the Low Countries of Germany, up into southern Scandinavia as well. Some heavy outbreaks of rain in some places. Some heavy showers and thunderstorms may be affected parts of Spain and into the central bowl of Med. Much of northern and eastern Europe, though, looking mostly dry again on Monday. That's where the hot temperatures will be. Anywhere east of Germany, really, we'll see further hot temperatures on Monday, easily up into the upper 20s, if not the 30s Celsius. But out to the north and west, definite cooling taking place there through Ireland, the UK, and in Scandinavia as well, as those strong westerly winds start to set in. And then that sets us up for a much more unsettled spell for the rest of next week. So on Wednesday, we've got lots of low pressure into the north and west of Europe. There's more low pressure downstream in the Atlantic as well. The high pressure on the east side of Europe being forced all the way back to Russia now. Still trying to hang on to some high pressure across southern, southwestern parts of Europe, but it's a much weaker reach. Upper air temperatures show that the hottest air is being forced down into the south and the east of Europe. Most parts of northern and also western Europe looking significantly cooler, with lots of heavy rain through the north and the west of Europe again. So Ireland, UK, Northern France, Low Countries, Germany, up to Scandinavia, increasing over towards the Baltic Sea states as well. Heavy outbreaks of rain pushing through there. Almost instability sparking off, lots of wet weather over the Alps as well. Come further south of that, lots of dry weather through the Mediterranean and in the far east and southeast of Europe. Hottest temperatures on Tuesday will be in the southern and eastern regions, coolest out to the north and the west. On Wednesday, got a little transient ridge ahead of the next area of low pressure coming in from off Atlantic for Western Europe, but Scandinavia and Northern Europe still sitting under that area of low pressure. Upper air temperatures look generally quite cool across the north and west of Europe. The hottest upper air temperatures will be down in the south. And there's further wet weather to come. Generally, the rain is being pushed further eastwards into northern and eastern and northeastern parts of Europe on Wednesday. A little bit drier out west, just under that transient ridge ahead of this next area of low pressure in the Atlantic. All of this wet weather with it. Some heavy showers and thunderstorms breaking out through central southern parts of Spain and Portugal on Wednesday. Otherwise, the Med looking mostly dry, hot and sunny, but a few thunderstorms could be developing in some of the Greek islands. Hottest temperatures are in the south and the east of Europe. Coolest again out to the northwest. Actually becoming quite cold across Scandinavia, and you wouldn't rule out with that the first snowflakes of season falling across parts of central and northern Norway and Finland, particularly in mountainous regions. Next, vigorous area of low pressure into the UK and Ireland on Thursday. At the same time, a bit of a northerly setting in through the far north of Europe in towards Finland, and perhaps starting to push down towards the Baltic Sea states as well. The upper air temperatures still look very hot, though, across southern parts of Europe and in the southeastern corner, but elsewhere it is cooler. Notice the -5 Celsius iceberg just begin to trickle in towards parts of Sweden and also Finland and the far northwest of Russia there. Quite interesting. That's the first time this season, I think. Relatively warm for the upper air temperatures out west, of course that's associated with that deep area of low pressure. That brings further wet and windy weather through the island, through UK in towards France and the Low Countries, Denmark, some parts of Germany affected by that. Same time, the showers and local spells of rain drifting over the Baltic Sea in towards Finland and through both Baltic Sea states, with Norway and Sweden beginning to turn a little bit drier, but it will be quite cold. And further southwards, well, heavy showers and thunderstorms through northern parts of Spain and into southern France as well. The driest weather is in the east and the south beaches of Europe. That's where the hottest the temperatures are, but further north and west looking cool, if not quite cold, across central and northern parts of Scandinavia. And then I'll just run you on to day 10. Well, no real changes through Friday 22nd, Saturday 23rd and Sunday 24th. It's all low pressure, pushing further eastwards and southwards, if anything, with time as the jet stream. It's invigorated as a consequence of the remains of Hurricane Lee on Tuesday, and so that jet stream invigorated, started to push further southwards and eastwards. So by the weekend of the 21st, 24th September, most parts of Europe are looking unsettled, with spells of rain and showers in between, possibly quite cold enough, a little bit of snow to fall across the extreme north of Scandinavia maybe by that weekend. But they're still just about managing to hold on to some hot air. I'll show you the upper air temperatures. So yes, you see down across the extreme south and southeast Europe looking relatively hot still in both upper air temperature, but it is a much more autumnal scene really across many central and northern parts of Europe. The final end of summer 2023 perhaps is in sight there through northern and western parts of Europe. Right then, so a week of change. We're starting off still with summer trying to cling on, but next week it looks like the ridge finally gets broken down, 100%, and a much more invigorated jet stream will bring spells of rain and strong winds, autumnal weather, initially to the northwest of Europe and then gradually spreading further southwards and eastwards across many parts of Europe with time. We're going to be back shortly with your 10 to 14 day. That include all of the red features. Come back for that a little bit later on. For this remote, for this week's European Outlook, that's all now. And thanks for watching.